What is going on? It is Drew back with another video, and today I want to unpack the question of why community college matters, or if community college is right for you. And so to recap a bit on some of these videos that I've done in the past and to kind of break down what a community college is, it is a 2-year institution that offers the associate degree. It can offer a lot of broad degrees that will transfer into 4-year institutions, a lot of the liberal arts type degrees or degrees like accounting. And it also offers a lot of the trades. So automotive mechanic, cosmetology, meat cutting, a lot of these programs are offered at 2-year institutions as well. Now, the stigma surrounding community colleges is that this is where the people go who aren't smart enough for college, or who are lost, or a lot of older people who just want to take classes for fun. So it doesn't really have a positive connotation in many communities, and it's kind of looked down upon because it doesn't have the prestige of a 4-year institution. However, I disagree with all of that because it's very vital to the communities that community colleges serve, and it is also a valuable piece to higher education in general. And it's also providing access to education for a lot of populations that don't have access to quality education as it is. So it's really hitting those neighborhoods that are lower income, who aren't able to afford 4-year institutions. And it offers a lot of access opportunities for students who wouldn't be able to get into 4-year institutions that have higher admission requirements. So now, to answer the question, is it right for you? There are some pros and cons. And one of them, which I had already mentioned, is the open access. It is very easy to be admitted into a community college, and that right away removes several barriers just to getting a college education. The other thing too that is more widely known is community college is a lot cheaper than a 4-year institution. They offer classes that per credit hour are almost probably, I would say, 1/3 the cost of a credit hour at a 4-year institution. So if you are on a budget and really tight, or really trying to save up money for a college education, what you can do, and what a lot of students do, is they will spend their first 2 years at a community college and take the same classes that they would at a 4-year institution, such as your basic math, your basic science, the general requirements for a degree, at a discounted price at a community college, and then transfer to a 4-year institution and complete their bachelor's degree there in their final 2 years. So this is already creating not only a shortcut, but an affordable shortcut as well. I would also say in many cases, and I'm generalizing here, it's very different depending on the state and the school, but at community colleges you really have the opportunity to engage more with your instructors. The instructors are there to really serve the students. And so I say this carefully because I think instructors at 4-year institutions also genuinely care about their students as well. But at a 4-year institution, a lot of them are also trying to do research on the side, and a lot of their careers really depend on getting research grants and bringing money in to conduct that research. So while I would say that they still care, they're just stretched really thin and may not be able to provide as much time to sit down and talk with you or answer your questions as a lot of instructors would at a 2-year institution or a community college. So another advantage to going to a community college is for students who, if you really don't feel like you're ready to go to a 4-year institution, if you feel like you would want to take a few extra classes to strengthen your math skills, for example, community colleges offer several levels of math that can get you up to the level you need to be at, which is usually that college algebra level, to succeed at a 4-year institution. And even if you're a student who not only has just graduated from high school and unsure, but if you've been out of school for several years and you want to go back and get a degree, a community college is a great place to sort of dip your toe in the water and start to ease back into things, because the pace is different as well. And as always, you have those instructors who are willing to help you along the way, as I've worked with a lot of students in that same population of re-entry. Additionally, and this has been in current events, is are we moving towards free community college? Which is a huge benefit for those of us on budgets. And actually some states do offer free community college, and you may live in one of those states, so definitely explore that. Although I would encourage you to do a little more looking into, because a lot of those agreements have stipulations such as once you get employment after graduation, you would need to stay in that state for several years in order to sort of give back through paying taxes, and that's sort of the trade-off for receiving that free community college. So on the flip side, what are the drawbacks of a community college? And I would say, from personal experience, community colleges, they offer everything for everyone, and that is great because it offers a wider net for wider populations that need to get education, and that's exactly what the purpose of a community college is to provide education to a greater audience at a lower cost with fewer barriers. But it can get stretched so thin with the information, and information can be skewed. A lot of degrees can be offered with so many avenues and so many different paths that you can be overwhelmed with decisions to make. And if you do have intentions to transfer to a four-year institution, you need to be careful about what classes you take, because not every class you take at a community college will be recognized by that four-year institution, and those credits may not transfer. So taking a step back, if you are looking at one of the career fields that only require two-year degrees, then you're set. Those classes are clearly laid out for you, and you will take exactly what you need to get the skills and the certification to continue on to employment. So community college is the perfect clear path for you in that regard. If you are looking at transferring to a four-year institution, that's really what I'm talking about when I talk about potentially taking wrong classes, or the community college is trying to be everything to everyone. So some ways to mitigate that are to have a close relationship with your advisor and constantly talk to them about what classes you need to take based off of the plans that you have after community college. A lot of community colleges and four-year institutions also have partnerships or transfer agreements where you would effectively sign an agreement with a four-year institution saying, I intend to transfer here, and in preparation for transferring to this four-year institution, I will take these set classes that the four-year institution has recognized at the community college as classes towards the degree, and guarantee that those classes will transfer into the bachelor's program that you would want to pursue once you transfer to the four-year institution. And I know that was wordy, but if you just do a quick search on transfer agreements or transfer agreements at the college that you're attending, or if you talk to an advisor at the community college that you're attending about transfer agreements, they'll be able to break it down tailored to your situation and offer some more details on that. I would say another drawback to attending community college, and this is only if you intend to transfer to a four-year institution, is what we call transfer shock. And so the environments at a community college and four-year institutions are very different. They're almost worlds apart sometimes. And so what happens is a student will go to a community college, get very comfortable in the environment, and feel like they have a strong grasp on what college is like and what the expectations are, and then suddenly be thrust into a new environment upon transferring to the four-year institution. It can be a faster pace, it can be larger classrooms, it can be harder to interact with instructors, it can be much more demanding homework. And this is largely in part due to taking upper division courses. And so that's just sort of the natural progression through to a bachelor's degree, where these courses will be more demanding than the lower division, the 100, 200 level courses. But it's also a new environment, and it's trying to learn a new culture, nuances, also new policies. You'll have a new advisor, you have entirely new instructors, you may have to form a completely new circle of friends. And so often students get overwhelmed by this, and they feel like they don't belong, and they feel like they can't be successful at a four-year institution. And what will happen is, in that first semester upon transferring, their GPA may drop. And this is what we would call transfer shock. There are ways to mitigate this as well. Knowing up front it's going to be a new environment, that is a perfect start. Having strong study skills, really establishing relationships upon transferring with your advisor, with your instructors, really getting involved, and always telling yourself that you do belong. You had the ability to transfer into that institution, which means you have the ability to succeed at that institution. And this is, from my experience, giving this advice to you, because there are so many students that I've worked with who are incredibly capable of succeeding, but they couldn't get that in their heads, and it really held them back and they struggled. So establish those relationships, know those resources, really get set on that. And if you know that ahead of time, then attending a community college with intentions to transfer will work out just fine for you. So that is, in a nutshell, why community colleges matter and why they may or may not be the choice for you. There's a lot more to dive into with this topic, and I may create videos in the future that really hone in on one topic in general. So if there is something you want to know about, let me know in the comments. And always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.